All right, all right. What's going on, party people? This your man Griff. Oh man, I got a video for y'all. I got some info for y'all. Now, most of y'all should have already seen this. If you're part of Signature Closers, you should have gotten an email from them already. When did this email come? Ooh, ooh, it came back a while ago. I'm just now seeing it. Okay, it came back in June. Wow. I am really, really, really late on this. Wow, I did not realize that. Man, I feel bad. Probably should have figured that out before um I got on this video. Oh well. But back on in June 17th, and let me show y'all. So as y'all can see, June 17th, they sent this email out. And this goes to a folder that I don't hardly ever check. So I don't know why my emails, I guess because it says marketing, but it went there. All right, cool. So I'm like, so I said, well, let me read it because when I do see them, I read them. So let me pull up. So here's what the email is talking about. Beyond the signature, that's what they call their thing. And it says here, let me zoom in a little bit more for y'all. So it says, as a top-notch notary, you provide professional and positive closing. You provide a professional and positive closing experience that goes above and beyond the routine tasks of having a customer sign a document. You're not just there to witness a signature. You're there to ensure clear, legible ID copies, error-free printing, printed documents, secure management of funds, and punctual, confusion-free appointments. And I agree. Your role includes all of these things and more. But for now, let's take a look at the four topics below. Legible identification copies, shipping funds, moving the appointment time, printing double-sided. And y'all know I've talked about all of this. I've talked about all of this. And let me just say it straight up. I do not subscribe to the thought that notaries cannot take pictures of IDs at these meetings. A lot of notaries are doing that, are telling you, and they've been in the business for a while, men and women, black and white, young and old, or younger than me, some older than me. They've been in this business and they have this thing of we never take pictures of IDs. I'm like, well, how does the person get a copy of the ID? So if the customer doesn't have the ability to take pictures of the ID, they forget to print, make copies of it, or any of that, then how do you get copies of the ID? And the thought is, if I take pictures of the ID, my phone will get hacked. How many? I'm still waiting to hear a notary come out and say my phone got hacked, and the ID of the picture of the IDs that I took of the signers at 2 o'clock got hacked at 3 o'clock or whatever. I'm waiting to see that. Okay, not saying that it can't happen, but you need to take pictures. And some notaries are not taking pictures of IDs whatsoever. Okay, let's just be clear. They're just flat out not doing it. They're like, I ain't doing it. They won't do it. They don't send them back or any of that. And we have to. And I'm gonna show you why. Oh man, notaries, we got to get it together. So it says legible identification copies. As a notary public, it is crucial to carefully collect clear, high quality photos of signers' photo identification. This step is essential in ensuring that the individual identity is accurately verified and serves as a critical measure to prevent fraudulent activities. Now, y'all know I've fussed about the whole thing of the person signing Jane Jones, aka Jane Smith, and then they're telling me, "Oh, you don't need IDs in her AKA name or FKA name or NKA meaning now known as and all of that kind of stuff. You don't need IDs of that because we've no. I need to see proper identification to be for me to verify her, and in most cases they don't have that. So guess what? I have to use credible witness. But the question now becomes, will credible witness be acceptable? And I'm thinking no. Now, if I'm putting this out here, if I'm incorrect in what I'm thinking, again, do your research, provide the proper evidence, and correct me. We recently learned that county recording offices are requiring the submission of ID copies with the recording documents. So, what does that mean? When they submit the deed to be recorded, let me come back to y'all. When they submit the deed to be recorded, they want a copy of the person's ID. They want to compare the signatures. Now, oh man, this just popped in my head. Now the question becomes the the signing company, or well, not the signing, the title company saying they need to sign exactly, their name, that they can't use their normal signature. So the question now becomes, what if the person, I gotta, hopefully I can do it. Well, here we go. So if the person, hopefully it'll show up to y'all. Here we go. If the person normally signs their name like this, but then they say, well, no, they have to sign in a legible cursive handwriting. They need to sign like this. I just made up a name, Stephen W. Smith. This is how they normally sign, but this is how they told them to sign on those documents. They told them to sign like this, and that's not the way they normally sign. To me, that becomes a problem because they're taking the ID, and as we're going to get into this, they take the ID and it's like, okay, let's compare the signatures. So now they're comparing the signatures that's on the ID to what's on the document. So now, can the title company really say, oh, you got to sign your name exactly as it's printed? Because if you do, and that ain't the way they normally sign, that's a problem. That just popped in my head as we were doing this video before I didn't even think about that prior to getting on here. Oh man, that's a concern. So now it's saying this county in Florida, Lee County, has started a pilot program. Well, let's see what that pilot program is. If I can find, here it is. So they have a pilot program that's basically saying that the clerks want to see government issued identification of the people who sign. So when they're buying and selling the property, they want to see that ID of the grantors and the grantees, the people buying, the people selling. They want to see that. This ID requirement is to help prevent fraud. Okay. So it is very important to prevent fraud. That's the purpose of the ID. All right. It even talks about here electronically submitted deeds. They're going to come up with a way to do that. But then right here it says identification requirements. IDs are only acceptable if the name, address, and signature are clear and legible. They don't want that the person's ID number on their card and all of that, height and date of birth and all of that. They don't care about that. They just want the name, the address, and the signature. That's why I'm thinking that signature, if the signature that's on the ID does not match the signature on the deed, that's a problem. That's going to be a problem. It says parties may redact information. It says person signing for or in lieu of a grantor or grantee must provide an image of theirs. So that means, Earl Williams, signing for Mary Smith or whoever, they got to also provide their ID. Okay. Everybody got to provide an ID. That's really what it boils down to. You see what I'm saying? So that is key. All right. It's hot outside. I don't feel like having all these lights on. So I just got my one light on and some natural light coming in the back, y'all. So hope y'all okay with that. With the exception of signing for and lieu, the name must match the grantee's document, abbreviation, form, John D. instead of the example is acceptable. However, deviations is only allowed if the individual is signing with less than or not more than the official document. So they're okay with somewhat of abbreviation, but I'm concerned about if their signature doesn't match. That's a problem. So expired identification is acceptable as long as the name on the identification matches the deed, the name on the deed of the document. But the problem is for my state, see, here's where the problem comes in at. And this is going to be a big issue because you're going to have signing companies saying, well, the state said, well, Florida says it's okay because this is in Leeds County, Florida. Florida says it's okay to accept an expired ID, but I'm not in Florida. I'm in Virginia. I need the proper ID. I need the unexpired ID because I'm in Virginia. I got to go by that. Okay, I got to go by that. And then the question then becomes, does title say, okay, well, yeah, you can submit an unexpired ID. So title's requirement may be, no, we want unexpired ID. So that's going to be an issue. Okay. But now here's something interesting. It says these are the IDs that their clerk accepts. And it says it's effective this year, military ID is no longer acceptable. And you say, well, that's no big deal. They pull their driver's license out. The problem is, let me come back to y'all. We'll be doing a lot of that today. The problem is some people, their driver's license expired and they have the automatic extension to their expiration because they're in the military. So how is that going to be handled? That's the question. How is that going to be handled? Don't know, but it's a concern. It is a huge concern because there are a lot of people who may not even have a state ID because they got married and they got married over in Germany and they're foreign national and they no longer have a foreign driver's license and all they have is the and they may have a foreign passport, but if their passport expires since they may not have that. They may not have that. They may not have that. Ooh, because if they let their passport expire because they're in Germany and that's where they at, and they ooh, hopefully that ain't the case. But there are people who they only roll with the military ID. And I've come across some people who are US citizens. They're like, I don't have a driver's license, I don't have a state ID, all I got is my military. And I'm a dependent. So that first example might not have been a good example. But y'all get what I'm saying. You can't put anything past anybody, any situation. So now they're saying government photo ID, that they're not going to record if it's not presented at the time of recording. The name signatures got to be, if the name signatures and all that is illegible, they can't recognize it. Mm-mm. If this information is redacted, if the ID present doesn't match the name of the grantor or grantee, you see what I'm saying? So somebody gonna have to figure it out. And this goes to certificate of title, tax deed, this, that, and the exclusion. I'm sorry. The exclusions for this requirement are these things here. But the mortgage, the statutory deed, warranty deed. I should say statutory, the warranty deed, yeah, there's statutory deed of trust, all of that, deed of gift, all of that. Additionally, all deeds presented for recording should comply with the statutes requirements for recording instruments affecting real property. So keep not taking pictures of the IDs if you want. That's one of the quickest ways to get blacklisted. It's that simple. And here's the problem with somebody handing you a photocopy of their ID if they don't do the photocopy right when you go to scan it. Because remember now, they want you to scan it. Guess what? Here's what has happened. There have been times where I've scanned a copy of the IDs, good clear, and they don't come out right. So you know what I ended up having to do? Take a picture of the photocopy and then submit that so they can have a clear copy. So in other words, I still ended up taking a picture of the ID. And I tried that. Don't take the pictures. Hey, y'all go ahead on and print make a photocopy of your IDs and all of that. And then I get there, oh, we ain't got no ink. I had to wait 35 minutes because the person didn't have. I'm telling you, because I had already put out there to do. You don't want to go down that road, but you're gonna do what you want to do. So what else? Oh, let me show y'all this here. A couple of more things they got in here, and these are so now they're talking about here shipping of the funds. Some signing agents are putting funds the customer funds or voided check into the clear shipping pouch along with the label. What? Hold on. I got this. Wait. Hold on 1 second. Notaries are putting it that with the shipping label. I was looking to see if I had any more FedExes up here. I must have used them all. That's like this here. So this one was shipped to me. That's like the shipping label, and you're sticking it in there with that. Don't make a bit of sense. Don't make a bit of sense. Okay. This is what notaries are doing. This practice helps. We strongly discourage this practice. Funds should be securely enclosed within the packages shipped. This practice helps protect the funds from potential loss, tampering in transit, ensuring the secure, all of that. Quick last two here. Moving the appointment time. Moving the appointment time. It is essential to adhere to the scheduled closing time communicated by customers to the customers by their title company or lender. Note how they're saying this to the customers by their title. So the title company and or the lender has communicated to Mr. and Mrs. Williams, this is what time your closing is going to be. Now, you can communicate to them that, hey, I'm not available that time, but I'm available this time. But what they're talking about when you reply back to a notification. The concern is there's a date and time that is already given. You accept it, saying that you can do this, or you reply back indicating you can do it at that date and time. And then once you get assigned, you go and change it. You have to be very careful about that. It says upon confirmation, you are accepting the signing. A notary confirmation will be dispatched to you with the closing date, time, location. In the event there is a need to alter the appointment, it is imperative to seek permission from us prior to making those changes. You may do so by replying to your notary confirmation email. That's all you got to do. Some notaries are not doing that. Some notaries are just like, I'm gonna take the order because I don't plan on doing it at no 3 o'clock anyway, because I'm still at work. I'm gonna tell them 6. You get it, and then no, you're not supposed to do that. But a lot of notaries are. A lot of notaries are. Remember now, this came out June 17th this year, 2024. So don't be like, oh, that's an old video from Griff from 4 years ago. No, this is new stuff that I've been telling y'all about for the last 3 years to stop doing and to get your act together with, but you keep doing it and you keep listening to people. And I still get phone calls from people telling me how, oh, yeah, I print double sided and I do this and I cut corners like this. Get out my business. And I'm not talking about my personal, but I'm talking about get out of my notary business. Get out the notary business. Because if you ain't going to do it right, then get out. It's that simple. Then this last one. When preparing the closing package for printing, print each page should be printed on only one side and not on both sides of the paper. Printing single sided will facilitate legibility, and ensure an orderly presentation of the documents. It is also more efficient to scan a single-sided package. I don't know what else you need to be told. I'm just going to say, I was going to try to come up with a softer word. No, what else more do you need to be told to stop doing that? I don't get it. If this business is too expensive for your behind, then get out. And I know y'all don't like hearing this kind of talk. And I know I'm not a Simon Cowell or Gordon Ramsay and all of these other little fancy, but the premise is the same. If you can't handle what it takes to be a star, to be a solid notary, if you can't handle what it takes to be an American Idol or the top chef or the next great cook and all of that, then get out. Get out. Leave that alone. You can't come in there and then, okay, we're going to do it my way. And this is one of the reasons why people are getting blacklisted and kicked out. And they don't have to tell you why. They say, oh, the documents were double-sided. They send surveys with the documents double-sided printed. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Don't use her no more. Don't use him no more. And I don't understand why y'all can't figure that out. Why do you legitimately think that you can cut corners and nobody's going to find out? There was time where the person came to me and said, hey, yeah, I want to change the time, this, that, and the other. And then I called and told the customer, and I told the signing company, and guess what? They turned around and called the customer to verify whether or not I was telling the truth. When you say, oh yeah, I reached out to them, they call them, they verify. Did they reach out to you on this date and this time, this date and that time? That's why I keep saying, get out of this business. If you plan on coming into the notary business and you're going to like, well, I'm gonna do it my way, get out. Don't even come. Don't even come. I'm serious. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't email me asking about, well, do you think it'd be okay if if you looked at this video, do not call me asking me about, can you think it? Because I'm just going to hang up on you. And I get these phone calls several times a month. So how do you handle printing all those pages? Isn't that expensive? Click, I'm just going to hang up on you. If you call me complaining about how expensive it is, click. And I don't care what you think about me. I don't care if you run around talking about he hate men, he hate women, he hate people. I don't care no more. I don't, because y'all are messing up my industry. And I take this very personal right now because people out here working their butts off to try to keep this economy going with the mortgages. And you got knucklehead trainers and fake mentors and cockeyed coaches that are sitting up here telling y'all to do stuff that's getting y'all blacklisted and getting you in trouble. And then you can't put two and two together, square rooted by pi divided by 3, that, oh, what they told me was incorrect. And that's what got me in trouble. For whatever reason, you can't put that together. So I'm trying to put it together for you right now. Stop listening to that crazy advice out there. Stop listening to it without validating it and verifying. The people, about to rain. The people who are paying you are the ones that you need to be listening to, as long as what they're asking you to do doesn't violate your state law. That's what the NNA says in their training, if you took the training, which many of you have not. You paid all that money for their training, but you didn't take the NNA signing agent training, which clearly says what? Follow the instructions of the contracting company as long as it doesn't violate your state law. It's that simple. All right, let me go. About to start storming. Let me make sure my windows rolled up. But I just want to share that with y'all. If you were signature closers, you'll see it. It's from June 17th. I'll be catching these emails late, and all of that. But I had to say something today because I was like, wow. Plus, I'm getting ready to get ready for a meeting with the members at 6:30, I think it is. So I got to meet with them, and I got to finish getting together some stuff for them and all of that. But I just wanted to put this out here. Give me your thoughts in the comment section. All right. Talk to y'all later. Peace.